everyone. My name is Jen Smith. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am so excited to have you on this journey with me. So if you're here watching this video, I'm guessing that means there's something about your life that you want to change. So I have been through many ups and downs in my life, and there was a time in my life where I was unhappy. I was feeling powerless. I was feeling frustrated, and I was feeling stuck. There was a time when my kids were really little. My son was a baby. My daughter was 6, and I was a single mom of 2 kids working a 50-hour plus week, just trying to make ends meet. A lot of times I didn't have money to pay my rent. A lot of times I was trying to figure out how to put food on the table and buy my son diapers, and I was picking and choosing bills. And here I was working my butt off, trying to give my kids a better life than what I had, and it just wasn't working. I was frustrated. I was by myself. I felt lonely. I didn't know how to do things differently, but I did know that I didn't want this life for my kids. And so there was a defining moment in that time period for me when one day my daughter had a musical at school, and she asked me that morning, she said, "Mommy, will you please come watch me sing at school?" And she was so excited. And I had to look her in the eye and tell her, "I'm so sorry, baby. I can't be there today. Mommy has to work." And the look on her face broke my heart. It was the look of sadness. And for me to not be able to be there with my daughter because I had to be at work and working in a job that I hated, and working so hard that I didn't have the time to be with my kids and do things that were important to them and to me. I knew something had to change. So that day when I went to work, I sat there and I tried all day not to cry, because all I could think about was my daughter standing on that stage with her classmates and looking out into the audience and not seeing her mom out in the audience. And it absolutely broke my heart. So that was the day that I decided that I was going to do things differently. And I knew that if I wanted a better life for my kids than what I had growing up, that I had to figure it out. I knew that I had to do something different. So what I decided to do was I decided to start my own business, and I worked tirelessly. I would come home from work, I would pick up the kids from school, feed them, bathe them, spend a little bit of time with them and get them off to bed. And then I would spend all night long, a lot of times not sleeping, teaching myself how to do that business. So eventually what happened was I started seeing major success in my business. My hard work was paying off. But as I was the most financially successful I had ever been in my entire life, I was also the most miserable I had ever been in my entire life. So the very thing that I was working so hard for, to have more time with my kids and to give them a better life, yes, we had money and we had success and I could buy them things, but the trade-off for that was, because I didn't set boundaries in my life and because I was saying yes to everything because I was scared to not have enough for them, I was sacrificing my time with them. So eventually, as life does, if you don't listen to your gut feelings about things, and if you don't listen to what your intuition is telling you, something big and major happens. And that's exactly what happened to me. I was in a major accident. I broke my kneecap, shattered my kneecap, and I 4th degree sprained my ankle on the other side. And so I went from going 24/7 with my business down to having to be on the couch for 12 weeks. And let me tell you, when you're down on the couch for 12 weeks by yourself, a lot happens up here. So initially what happened was I felt like a failure because when I broke my kneecap and when I was in so much pain, I had to make a really hard decision to give up my beautiful office that I had worked so hard for and to let my employees basically go because I couldn't afford to pay them anymore because I was so heavily medicated on the couch with my knee. I couldn't juggle all the things that I was trying to juggle. And so I felt like a failure. I felt like a failure in my business. I felt like I was letting people down. The next thing that happened was I got really, really depressed. I was so hard on myself and I was so upset because I didn't understand why these things were happening. I worked so hard and I tried to give everybody everything, and in an instant, it all just came crashing down. So I got really depressed. The next stage that happened to me was that I got really angry. So I got frustrated. I was like, this isn't fair. Why are these things happening to me? And the next stage after that was acceptance. I had a moment that changed my entire mindset and my entire perspective. As I was sitting there on the couch, I started thinking about all the times that I was stressed out and how burned out I was, and all the time that I was sacrificing with my kids, and how I was really just wanting to be with them. And I had sacrificed friendships and doing fun things, things that fed my soul. And so it was in that moment of realization that I decided that I was going to do things differently again. So what I decided was that I was no longer going to put success before everything, and I was going to start prioritizing the things that really mattered to me, the things that were really, really important to me, which was my family and my friends and the people around me and the experiences in life that when time goes on, you can't get back. So that's exactly what I did. I shifted my mindset. I reset my life. I reprioritized what was important to me. And ever since then, I have been living a life of fulfillment. I have an amazing relationship with my kids. They're full grown now. I've done so much traveling and just had the most amazing experiences because I started saying yes to things that came my way. I started saying yes to opportunities, but I did it by setting boundaries and never losing sight after that day what was important to me. This class is all about teaching you to do the same. It's about teaching you to empower yourself. So I want to ask if there's anybody out there who has gone through a period of their life where they were struggling or they were feeling stuck, or maybe they were feeling like they had given everything there was to give to everybody else around them and they weren't really knowing what made them happy. Or maybe if there's a time in your life where you were in a job that you hated, or you had a dream that you were longing to fulfill. If that is you, then this class is for you. So now I want to talk about what this course is about. So we start off the course with establishing what's working. What's working in your life right now? What are you happy with? And what's not working? So in order to really step into an empowered life, we have to know where we are and we have to have an idea of where we want to go. And so that's where we start. From there, we go into talking about how small changes can add up to big results. So for a lot of people, change is really uncomfortable. Change is looked at as something that maybe isn't a positive thing, but I want to show you how change is actually a good thing and how small changes can add up to really big life changes. So from there, after we talk about changes, we go into how our beliefs shape our reality. So what we believe to be true equals our reality. if we believe that everything is against us and the entire world is out to get us, then that's what's going to happen. So we really dive into our belief system, and we talk about what stories are we creating for ourselves? What stories are we telling ourselves? So that's the next part of the program. From there, we move on to how to take control of your thoughts. Our thoughts create our reality. So just like our beliefs, our thoughts create our beliefs, and our beliefs create our reality. So it's all connected. So I want to show you how you can take control of your thoughts, and so your thoughts don't control you. The next part of the program is identifying patterns. So we all have patterns in our life that prevent us from moving forward or make us do things that we maybe don't necessarily think are healthy for us or are good for us. And so we're really going to dive into what are the patterns in our life that are preventing us from moving forward. And we're going to look at those so that we can create lasting change. When you're aware of your patterns, you can change them. So the next part of the program is I'm going to give you some action steps of how to shift your beliefs and change those patterns. So now that we have identified the patterns and our beliefs, now it's time to shift those and start doing things differently. And I know that sounds a little bit scary, but I promise you it's going to be worth it in the end. And I promise you that if you do the things that we talk about in this course, that you will be happier as a result. So after we take the action steps, we want to really dive into what lights you up. What is your soul's passion? What makes you happy? So when we know what lights us up inside, then we can follow our passion, and our passion leads to our purpose. And so I really want you to get clear on what lights you up inside, what makes you happy. And so we're going to really go into what feeds your soul. And from there, we're going to talk about fulfilling our purpose. And the last and final part of the program is how gratitude can change everything. So when we shift from thinking about things in a negative way and really being thankful for what we have around us, really being thankful for the people that are in our life or the things that we have right now, or even if it's $2 in the bank, the money that we have right now, instead of always wanting more, it can change your entire life. So gratitude absolutely changes everything. So that brings us to the end of the program. And I just want to tell you that I'm so excited to go on this journey with you. And I can't wait for you to walk with me and step into an empowering life. I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Take care, everybody.